And welcome into the Wheelhouse, your Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyle. Matt Mascarenas, Michael Spell with you on these Sunday mornings as a big show to talk about. We're going through the good, the bad, and the ugly through the Olympics as closing ceremonies come your way tonight from Paris. So today is the last day of events. We have the U.S. women's basketball team going for gold as we speak. So we'll give you live updates for that game as well as it just entered the second quarter of play. But we'll be going through kind of a fire and ice list of what we've experienced watching the Olympics. And once again, closing ceremonies heading your way tonight from Paris. Don't forget to like all of the social media pages, Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, all of it. Subscribe, like, and you will get updates from us on all of those. Matt, how are we this morning?
I am doing well. It's a nice fall type kind of morning. Those are the mornings that I like the most. And it's reminding me we got the Olympics wrapping up. The WNBA season is going to kick off again. We got NFL. There's a full slate of preseason games. So my favorite time of the year is fall, and we're easing right into it. So that makes me happy.
Yeah, I hate this weather. I hate this cold in the morning. Just something about crisp air that
crispy?
makes me sick to my stomach. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I get it. I do.
Yeah. So we will see. Again, we'll go through our fire and ice list of the Olympics, from, I guess, us being unpatriotic to events that we surprisingly enjoyed or watched or couldn't turn off, to the commentating, which I know we shared a lot of message exchanges about. And so we will just dive into it. And again, if you have any comments, want to add anything, you can comment on our video on any of those social medias. You can also send us a text, 720-375-2341. If you want to comment on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, then we will see all of those comments as well. Once again, this pod is brought to you by Pikes Peak Sports Cars. Don't forget to go on their Facebook page, check them out. They go to a lot of sporting events, or sporting card events, I should say, in Denver, if you are in the Denver metro area, but they are located down in the spring. So yeah, Clayton said a happy game day. Apparently there's football starting today. Had no idea that it was even preseason. I was going to say another word, deep into the Olympics, but I'll say I'll say waist deep in the Olympics then.
Waist deep, yes.
Waist deep in the Olympics. Have not read, watched anything on football, Matt. I don't know about you.
The Packers played yesterday, so I was paying attention to that. Jordan Love looked freaking tremendous. And, I am kind of getting into it, starting to transition over to it. Very, very little by little, but the Packers got going yesterday, which like I said, oh man, I'm excited for this season for as a Green Bay Packer fan for sure. And the local team here, the Denver Broncos, they kick off at 11 today, so I'm sure everybody's getting ready for that stuff too as well. But little by little, Mike, I am easing into it, but I'm ready for the WNBA to come back, to be honest.
Yeah, I probably honestly won't get excited until that's over. I'm not even excited about fantasy football, and usually I love spending like $200 to enter a league that I never win. So
I'm ready to go with that too. So yeah, because that's another. I mean, I haven't looked at any draft stuff, so I guess I can't say that I'm ready. But there's drafts. Our drafts have been planned for a month. So yeah, I'm like, there's a lot of things going on with football that I'm easing my way back into, but no, I'm with you with WNBA. I can't wait for that to start back up.
All right, let's get into our fire and ice list of all things of the 33rd Olympiad.
It's now time for Fire.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
on fire.
I'm the only one of burning desire. Let me stand next to your fire.
And ice.
Ice Cube, baby.
You're as cold as ice. Ice, ice, baby.
All right, man. Where did you want to kick things off?
Let's go ice.
Ice.
Maybe.
All right. Well, there's actually a lot of ice, and it's the Summer Olympics, which really doesn't make sense, but it is. There's a lot of things that bothered me, Matt. And again, call us unpatriotic, call me a hypocrite, as I'm wearing the United States Olympic team hat while ripping our boy Matt, who won a bronze medal.
Yep.
There you go. Big yoke. I by the way, he was honestly more happy winning a bronze medal than he was in the NBA championship. Let's just
Didn't
throw
it look that
out there.
way? Yeah,
No,
it looked that way.
It was that way.
Yeah.
I mean, starting with his shirt off, you saw full dad bod in effect. I don't know if he's ever taken his shirt off in public. Not only in public, Matt, but in a foreign land with strangers.
Yeah.
He was totally drunk at the podium, by the way. So
Yeah, he was.
and, I mean, there was 8 hours in between the bronze medal game and then the medal ceremony for men's basketball. But yeah, it was totally cool to see Jokic that happy, celebrating with his country. And yeah, Serbia takes home the bronze medal in U.S. basketball as they knocked off Germany. And then obviously we will get in. I mean, did you want me to go or did you want to go?
You go first. Go ahead. Go first.
All right, so my number 3, I put it at number 3, Matt, because they did win gold medal yesterday. But this U.S. men's basketball team just pisses me off. Everything about it just pisses me off. About 5% of me are glad they won gold, Matt, but about 95% of me, number one, wish Serbia had won. And it's funny, all of the Nuggets fan groups on Facebook, Matt, were all low-key rooting for Serbia just because of Joker.
Yep.
Just because of Joker. And it's just funny how everyone was just like, oh, Serbia got robbed and stuff like that. And France put up a good fight as well. I don't know why they kept taking out Wemby, Matt. To be
I don't. Yeah.
The dude's 20 years old. He can literally play. It's only 10-minute quarters. If Jokic can play literally 36 minutes in these games, Matt, I don't know why a 20-year-old Wemby cannot play more than 35 minutes. They needed him out there.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. I agree 100% because he was cooking Embiid to get going. They went on.
That's not saying a lot, but yeah.
I know, but I mean the things that guy was doing, Wemby was just what made me. I went and put money on him as an MVP. What the heck for this season? Because that dude's going to be an MVP sooner than later. That's for sure. He's going to be the best player in the world, and it's not because it's just because he's that much better than Joker, but Joker's I just some of the things that this guy's doing, Wemby, is just I caught myself. I wouldn't say I was rooting for France, but I was when they went on an 8-0 run there, and you had the dancing bear. I'm not even going to try to say his name. I mean, it's not that difficult, but I can't remember it. But when he dunked on LeBron, all that was just coming out of me, and I was like, oh man. And this is actually we can knock this out because this was my number 1, but we can go with we'll just go with it here too because it's not a big deal. But because I'll just go right into it. I felt the same way. This was just USA basketball. And you can call me a hater, call us haters because
that's what I mean. Yeah, call us unpatriotic.
Call us. I mean. It's a collection of some of the players that we've hated our entire lives of being Nuggets fans. We can't stand Devin Booker. We can't stand Anthony Edwards from this. This is the most recentness of Anthony Edwards. We have to see him again. I love him as a player, and I think he's going to be one of the best players in the NBA in the future of blah 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 blah. We can't stand Joel Embiid, and I actually got a little bit more I felt sympathy for Jason Tatum. That was something that I thought was egregious that Jason Tatum was he had 2 DNPs
Yeah.
That was wild to me, and Kevin Durant, one of the best players to ever Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, two of the best players to ever step on the floor. And I'm not denying that. But man, as people, and I mean, especially Kevin Durant, because he's cracking me up. There's some things I agree with him on, but for the most part, he's going off, and it is what it is. But like just a collection of, and I can't stand Steve Kerr. I've never liked Steve Kerr as a head coach over there. I thought he was handed the keys to a Lamborghini, and he's driving it. He hasn't wrecked it yet. That's what I felt with Steve Kerr. So just everything about this team and the way it was put together and who they just at the beginning, Mike, we were talking about it in the beginning where I couldn't stand this team. Yeah. And it was just, yeah, I don't feel unpatriotic. I really don't, because I was rooting for every other aspect of the United States in this Olympics. And I think that that's fine. But there you can get into the discussion. Is it club over country? That's a soccer term, right? Or a rugby term. It's they run into that all the time. So this is a situation, where we kind of, us Nuggets fans, chose club over country, in a situation. And I was rooting for the United States in every other situation. I was, and the track and field, which I'm going to get to, is crazy, but it was the basketball, man, it was tough. It was tough for me. It really, really was.
I posted somewhere. I don't know if you saw my tweets, man, but I was rage tweeting through most of the men's basketball. Sent your boy Joel Embiid personal tweets. So those should be out in the universe as well. Called him a POS. Called him a medal chaser. And did you see what he already said? He said he's going to go to Cameroon next Olympics. Like, dude. I mean, I know. I love the French crowd booing him every single time. And of course, I don't know if I think it was against Puerto Rico or something like that, where you have a bunch of 6'8" guys playing against, I think Puerto Rico's tallest guy is
They're
like
not very
5'8". So of course you're going to win these games, Matt. Like, but against Serbia and France, I don't know if they were expecting it. I know they're saying the world is catching up. Serbia, man, I mean, a 17-point lead in that game.
Yeah.
And it just dwindles down. And, I saw post too. It took the NBA's best, mind you, to beat Joker and a bunch of accountants, is one of the posts I saw as well. And it's just crazy. And going back to Embiid, I don't know if you saw that. He had the ball like near midcourt and everyone's booing him. He's pumping up the crowd. He almost gets the ball stolen, and then he proceeds to just jack up an air ball. It is just crazy the way that, again, unpatriotic, I guess, or just this collection of players that we have disliked for so many years. And don't even get me started on this new stupid ass nickname, Matt. Captain Lamerica, get out of here. Like shouldn't have won MVP. I mean, if you're gonna give MVP to somebody, it should have gone to Curry or Kevin Durant. And my question is this an MVP of the entire tournament, or just the gold medal game?
The entire tournament. The way I understand it.
If we're talking in the entire tournament, again, Joker should have won MVP. He led in every statistical category.
Yeah.
And he won a medal.
Yeah, I know. I just.
I mean, you take LaFlop off this team, Matt. They're probably still going to win gold.
Right.
You take Joker off of Serbia, Matt. They're barely a country.
Right.
Like
they're not even in it. Yeah.
They're not even.
Well, I mean, didn't they win the championship, the world championships, or something like that? Didn't they?
Yeah, but I don't think Joker played.
But Joker didn't play in that, but neither did the Americans.
The teams they were playing didn't play any of their NBA guys.
Yeah, right, for sure. But yeah, I that's like, I mean, and again, I think this speaks worse, or this speaks of how much in trouble in the future, like everybody's talking about the 2028 Olympics, and I'm like,
I'm so glad LeBron's not going to be.
We don't know that. My
I mean,
goodness.
he kind of said he's not going to.
I know. I feel like he's not. I think KD might still be around for that. Maybe Steph. But
I mean, they'll be. I think Steph will be 40 by then.
But the fact that you had the 3 oldest players on the team that were your leaders, and you can look at it from the point of view that that's the way it's supposed to go. But like, didn't you where were these guys at? Where was like Tatum? That was crazy.
Well, and even Anthony Edwards was on the bench to finish that game.
Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton.
Is he hurt, by the way? Because he was sitting at the little check-in.
I don't know. I don't think so.
He had like a big back brace on. He had a bunch of ice bags on his legs.
I didn't read anything. Maybe he was dealing with something. I don't know. But Anthony Davis, I mean, that's somebody too that didn't get a lot of. There's just the future of United States basketball. I don't know if it's in as good. I mean, let me take that back, because the future does include like somebody like a Cooper Flag, who's over there at Duke, guys like that. And I would even throw Connect over there with the Lakers into that category as maybe the future of United States basketball. So, but if we're talking about what we saw in this Olympics, the veterans, the old guys that were just dominating the game for United States basketball, because there is some kind of a shining light, is that it was good to see those guys still do the things they can do, but it's just tough. It's just so tough. And also, Mike, there's this team, if you go up and down, it is not, because this has been comparable. I know you and I are dream team guys, right? We're dream team guys. The dream team is one of the greatest groups of basketball players ever assembled. And when you go, the only thing that I could give the tip to this team as opposed to the dream team is the competition. Like, there was not a lot of competition globally back then.
Because nobody from the NBA could play.
There was no, I mean, until
they didn't play.
Really. They didn't play, right? And then you got into the 92 season, that the Dream Team season, and they came up, that assembled group there, I think is the greatest like talent that's ever been. But the talent they played, what I'm saying is probably not as good as what we're seeing the world today. I think the world's a lot better than it was back then as far as it goes, United States versus the world. So that I would tip my cap towards this team. But other than that, if you go top to bottom, I don't see the top 5 beating that 92, that dream team, that dream team top 5. I just don't see that. So there's that point too with it.
But also, doesn't it seem like, besides Jokic on Serbia, doesn't it seem like all of these dudes, if they're not playing for their country, are going back to being accountants? Like, what? It almost seems like they like, what are these? I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but what do these guys do? What is Micic going? I mean, I know he's on an NBA roster at 35 years old.
It's surprising.
He was the oldest rookie in the NBA last year. I didn't know he was in the NBA.
Yeah, it's surprising how many of these guys were in the NBA, or kind of had a lot of these players, they play professional basketball, whether it's, in the Spain league, the Euro leagues. There's a lot of opportunity to play professional basketball. Now, is it the level of the NBA? No, but it's professional basketball. Luka, Wemby, those guys have been playing since they were, able to play in their teens. So Joker's been playing in Serbia. So they're professional basketball players, but it's not even close to the level of what it is here in the United States. But like I said, it's a lot better than it used to be. It really is. I think the world has the best basketball players. The world does. I don't think they come from the United States anymore. And it's just that the basketball is evolving into something, and I've seen it when I go to these tournaments, with the youth, with the kids. The way basketball is in Europe or in the Euro culture is different than it is here in the United States culture. Yeah.
So if you're wondering what statistical categories Joker led in, how about first in points, first in assists, first in rebounds, and how about this, Matt, first in steals?
Yeah.
In the entire Olympics. So if you're talking about overall MVP, I don't know.
It's wild, yeah.
I mean, if you're going to give it to anybody on US, I mean, doesn't it go to Steph Curry? He single-handedly won you pretty much 2 games to finish out the Olympics, right? Is that accurate? If not, Kevin Durant.
Yeah. And Kevin, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, shout out to Bam and Drew Holiday, who probably were the most quietest and most humble of the bunch. You could throw Tyrese Haliburton in there. You kind of forget that he was even on this team. I don't know if you saw his tweet, by the way. It was pretty funny. His tweet that came out, he said, when you're, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, when you're part of when you don't do nothing for the group, but you still get an A on the project, is what his tweet basically said.
Right.
He had a couple of DNPs as well. He did not play at all. Him and Jason Tatum did not play at all I don't think Derek White played it either in the gold medal game. So shout out to the guys who and of course there's a lot of memes out there, Matt. They're like, Jason Tatum beat out Tyrese Haliburton in high fives and daps. So
and we're like Jaylen Brown wasn't on this basketball team, and it's just there's people are pointing to Derek White as being the reason why you can't call this the better than the dream team, but then you can throw Christian Laettner into that category too when he was on the dream team. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of those players that you're like looking that we're not. Bam Adebayo, Drew Holiday are great NBA players, but I'm not going to say these are some like impactful international players. That's just crazy for me. But I really think, I'm curious to see where USA basketball is going to go from here. If you got and Kevin Durant too, what is that? 4 golds for him? Is he not the greatest international basketball player ever at this point?
For the US.
For the US. Yeah. I mean, there's no way you can't say that about him. So, I mean, that's something that's positive from this. So yeah, but overall, Mike, it was so tough. It was so tough to root for those guys because I can't stand them.
Yeah, so I know we're spending a lot of time on this one topic, but before we move on, Matt, I actually have something in common with Dwayne Wade, Matt, and that is when you're first starting out announcing games, and again, I'm not to the level of announcing gold medal game in the Olympics, Matt, but you're gonna try things out that don't work. You're gonna have little catchphrases that don't work. You're going to try to land a joke, Matt, that just falls on deaf ears. It's going to happen. And Noah Eagle, shout out to him. Your dad's a legend.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, the references these guys are making, the jokes that weren't landing, Matt. I mean, I get it. They're going to be biased. They're on NBC. I had to watch a couple games on mute, Matt, because I just could not. I mean, there was a Macklemore reference yesterday. There was literally explaining what a hand in the cookie jar is when your parents catch you. Like there was just, it was cringier than Scott's Tots, man. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, some of these,
Scott, what you gonna do?
And that's honestly, I don't even skip that episode to be honest with you. But I mean, it was just cringe all over the place, man. And again, when they're talking about basketball. Like Dwayne Wade has terrific insight, obviously. When they're talking about strictly basketball, Matt, it was fine. But when they started going off script and like, dude, I don't care, Dwayne Wade, about your relationship with LeBron. I don't care what you guys do on the banana boat. Dude, I don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I don't care. But when they went off script, Matt, it was horrendous.
It wasn't very good. And it sounded a lot. It was, and again, like you said it already, like, of course they're going to be biased. They're American. This is, so any game that they're calling, it's going to be, but I felt a lot of, and you saw this from Durant and some of these other players. They respect players like Nikola, Wemby, and Gobert, and the foreign. They respect those guys as much, and they're in awe of. Kevin Durant even said it in his tweets. They're in awe of their talent and blah blah blah. But I really feel like there's an ounce of they hate it. The hate, the haterism coming out of them. They're like, man, that whatever, he's not that good, you know, but he is, because you know what I'm saying, Mike. When you see somebody that does something pretty impressive, and you're like, it's not that good. I could do, but you know, that's the feeling that I got when they were calling other games, just besides the USA versus whoever they were playing, but they were calling other games as well. I got that feeling from that too. Like they were talking. Dwayne Wade had a lot of, and again, this is our club over country coming out, I guess, where we get defensive over Joker when you kind of like. I heard Dwayne Wade say something like, that he was trying. There was Eagles said something about that. Oh, he was fouled there, and then Dwayne Wade goes, "Nah, he's flopping." Like he goes right after that, it was, "Nah, he's flopping." And now, as maybe we're sensitive Nuggets fans, Mike, I don't know.
I didn't see Joker fall down once this entire tournament.
I know it's you know,
he doesn't fall down.
So it could be that, but I seen him do it with Wemby. I seen him do it with Gobert. I seen him do it with the Canadian game. There was a play. I can't remember who it was, but I remember it was the same kind of situation. And that's what was like, oh man, why do we got to have this? Like, I thought we were being respectful here of other countries or whatever. And it could just be they were trying to add their little slice or their little flavor to the commentary. And that's how they thought they were doing it. But for me, and again, I'm totally wearing my Nikola Jokic Denver Nuggets club before country, like I've said 1,000 times already, on my sleeve. I get it, but it ruined kind of some of those games for me with the commentary. And like I said, I had to go on mute too for a little bit.
I mean, and the FIBA rules, Matt, they allow you to be more physical.
A lot more
physical. They allow
physical.
you, and they're still crying, like literally still crying. And I get it. Jokic, you know, did his little arms in the air thing.
Yeah. He does it all the time. He does.
Yeah. I mean, international play, man, you just got to stack up. Like, not everything's a foul like it is in the NBA. You fall down, it's not a foul in FIBA rules.
Right.
By the way, and Iron Eagle, this is what really pissed me off about not Iron Eagle, but Noah Eagle. What really pissed me off about him, Matt, they called it. It was in the Serbia Germany bronze medal game yesterday, Matt. The ref did this because the dude tried to take a charge and they called him for flopping, and Noah Eagle had no idea what sign this was.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He was like, "What signal is he making?" I'm like, dude, how do you not know that's a flopping signal?
And he's and Eagle even called out like over the back several times, and I haven't heard that term since 90s rec basketball, when you would hear coaches screaming, "He's over his back, he's over," and then that is not a rule at all. In any situation, you know, it's a different, he was calling that a lot. So yeah, that, and I feel like there could have, I mean, I don't know, Mike. See, I don't know if the guys that are big, because Tarico was all over. He was like leading the entire thing, which was, you know, he's a big guy.
He's fine. Yeah, he's fine.
He's a big time guy, but I was kind of, I wish there would have been, I guess, better. I mean, you could have, I don't know, you know, you got to get your start to start somewhere, and maybe that was Eagles spot. But like, I mean, come on, just the basic things of basketball, you're screwing up.
Well, get ready, because I think this is going to be the number one broadcast crew when the NBA comes to NBC in 2025, Matt. So I think.
Well, I guess I'll be listening to Jason Kosminski a lot if he's on those, if they're on Nuggets games. Yeah. I'll have the radio on.
To be honest, he's getting a little tough.
He had a rough year this year, I think.
All right, Matt, what did you have for this one?
What are we on? 3 ice?
We've just barely started.
Yeah. So we can knock out. We already knocked out my number one too, because mine was basketball. So we got that done. Number 3 ice for me, man, was the 3. We're gonna stay in basketball, I guess. Was a 3-on-3 tournament. I was trying to get more information on how these 3-on-3 tournaments got brought up or entered in, and I guess there's like qualifications you have to go through. Like, you can't just show up and pick, because everybody's wondering why the Americans were so bad at this. And they had, they had Jimmer Fredette,
Yeah, I couldn't name the other
and
three.
two other white guys.
Yeah, I couldn't name any of them.
It was crazy. And then the women's team, they had Haley Van Lith on that team, and a couple other college players, which I could get. That was solid.
And then they had I think her name is Haney. She plays for the LA Sparks. She basically took Cameron Brink's spot because Cameron Brink obviously tore her ACL, but
right. So,
shout out to the women. They started out 0-2 and they walked away with the bronze.
Yeah, exactly. I was just boom right there. Yeah, the women, they started out back because I was watching the women, and I can see the start where they were having, and then, but why can't we? Why would you? What? Well, let's go. And Ice Cube, I don't know if you saw this, but Ice Cube was offering the champion, the 3-on-3 men's champion, to come in, and they were going to fly him out and pay him and all this. He was offering all that stuff. So I think going forward, like if this is going to be competition, like Ice Cube should get more involved with the 3-on-3, at least if the Americans, get because I think some of these 3-on-3 ballers that we see in the 3-on-3 league would have been a hell of a lot better than what we had out there. And they're saying that some of the rules, the way that they do things, that it hampers the Americans because, like I said, again, you have to qualify. Well, if knowing that going forward now, if Ice Cube and the big three, if they can get something involved and start getting these guys to pick a big three of the big three and get them in there, to get them to qualify and stuff like that, so we can have a better showing than we did. My goodness. Like that was to me, that was like something that really was like, oh man, we could have did better at this. We could have planned out better. We could have got better players, younger players. We could have figured it out. There's a lot of things that we could have done better to deal with this 3-on-3 tournament.
Yeah, it was weird to watch too. Like there was really no referees. They had like some fat dude just kind of patrolling,
just sitting like either.
But it was like playing street ball, man.
It
like
was.
You check the ball, you had to take it back.
And you're not like I'm sorry, but like 5 white guys playing street ball is not going to work, man. You got to we got to get the ballers. Like that's like every court I've been to, every court I go to, and you're in a 3-on-3 situation, and you're playing basketball like that. The ballers know what to do, and they know how to play that. Like I'm sitting there screaming at him, like, no, you don't have to take it out. You don't take it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mike, we've all balled like this, and it's you take it out past the key, right? You got to take it out past the key first. You got to clear it first, and I just think that they didn't have the right guys. They didn't have the right. It just I feel we could do better. We could do better in that. We could do better going forward.
Yeah, so we will see what happens 4 years from now. Yeah, I mean, you'd figure in LA, Matt, they would find some.
I'm Ice Cube, ballers. Please. Yeah. If you're watching, I know you are watching, Ice Cube. I know you're watching, Cube. We got to get it. You guys, you got to get involved.
Yeah. All right, man. Number 2 for me on the ice list is almost like your 3-on-3, but beach volleyball for the U.S. men's and women's, Matt. Not even walking away with a medal. This used to be a competition, Matt, and shout out to the full regular volleyball, I guess we're calling it, indoors. Women did walk away with a silver medal, so shout out to the American women in indoor volleyball. But beach volleyball, Matt, I mean, the U.S. had 2 teams, Matt, and none of them, 4 teams, excuse me. There were 2 men's teams and 2 women's teams. None of them walked away with a medal. I mean, do you remember back in the days when Misty May Trainer, who shout out to Misty May Trainer and Chris Marlowe, our boy Chris Marlowe, commentating the volleyball.
Yep.
And a lot of these Nuggets, Welch. Yeah, a lot of these Nuggets groups, Matt, were like, "Is that Chris Marlowe on the broadcasting for beach volleyball?"
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone's just like, "Yeah, he's been doing it for like 15 years now.
Long time,
this is like his 5th Olympics, pretty much." Shout out to him. He actually won a gold medal in volleyball back in the '84 LA game. So he was a volleyball standout back in his day. But I mean, and watching Chang and the U.S. team, they were one of the heavy favorites, Matt, to get out of this with the medal, and they just did not go up to par, Matt. And I don't know if you watched the the gold medal match yesterday. Shout out to Brazil and
Yeah,
Canada.
Brazil. Yep.
Brazil has been so good at volleyball for so long, Matt, that they were going to be a tough out anyway. And shout out to Canada. They were the lucky losers who got the draw of the number one team in Brazil. But the U.S. men's and women's beach volleyball teams, Matt, you have 4 teams. There was one very strong men's and one very strong women's, like we talked about, and none of them walked away with a medal, which was kind of disappointing. So that's my second ice list.
I mean, I'm right there with you too, because like I remember that was a staple for the Olympics for a long time. I'm tuning in to watch Misty May Trainer and Carrie Welsh Jennings
They won what?
3.
Four straight gold? Or 3 straight gold? Okay.
3 straight gold medals, and no American has done that, male or female. And it was yeah, we got to get back. I think we will get back there. United States volleyball has always been good. They have a great program throughout the country, whether it's male or female. Great programs. I have friends that coach in it for a long time, and friends with athletes that play volleyball, and it is really good. It will come back, we'll bounce back. But yeah, it was, you can tell, I felt the same thing. I was like, man, I miss Misty May, and I miss Carrie Wells, I miss and I used to go watch. They used to have beach volleyball in Boulder, and I've been out there and watched it. I've seen it. So yeah, I enjoy beach volleyball, and it was sad to see that, but I think we'll be back. I think we'll come back. We'll have a good go in 2028. I hope so. But the Brazilians, they've always been dominant.
Yeah.
They've always been dominant.
Yeah, and shout out to Kelly Chang and Sarah Hughes. They placed 5th overall, which obviously is not going to get you a medal. It's not going to get you even orange slices and Capri Suns, Matt. So, by the way, and I might mention this, shout out to Paris, Matt. I mean, just the background views and stuff. I mean, can you imagine playing beach volleyball, Matt, with the Eiffel Tower right there as a backdrop? Just so
that'd be
cool.
Crazy.
Just so cool. And it looked like Matt, France just had their stuff together, man. They prepared for this. I don't think they even had to build a whole bunch of like stadiums and structures. The beach volleyball, obviously, you're not playing on a beach, so you had to bring in sand from somewhere. And I think the stuff around the Eiffel Tower was really the only things they put together, Matt. And so there was not a lot of, I guess, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. They throw up these stadiums, they throw up these arenas, and then they just sit there deserted. I don't think France really had to do a lot of that besides the little stuff around the Eiffel Tower. So they utilized what was already there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool to see. All right, man. Yeah. Next on your ice list.
My ice list number 2 is the freaking breakdancing. What the heck?
At least women's breakdancing. Because I was going to throw a category at you later, but I'm going to save it. But just go ahead.
I couldn't get with it, Mike. I tried. There's nothing. And I'm not saying it's not athletic, and I'm not saying it's not difficult to do the things that they're doing. I'm not saying it, but I'm not saying that, but I don't understand how we're judging it. Like I remember when we judged it and back in the day on the streets, it was like we cheer. I felt like like we would cheer on the guy that we felt did better or did more difficult things, but I don't understand the scoring. I don't understand what we're looking. It's just not. I couldn't get it. I thought I was watching an 80s movie, and I really did the whole time I was watching the breakdancing scenes. Did anybody do the robot at least? I didn't notice.
No.
I mean, no. Is that frowned upon in the Olympics?
I don't know how you would score that.
See, that's what I'm saying. I just, Mike, it was just like. Oh, it didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. And I don't know what I couldn't wrap my head around it. I didn't know why it was there. I'm trying to find positive stuff to it outside of, I understand how hard it is. I understand they're athletic, but it just wasn't for me, man. It wasn't for me. And I know you have different, you like the men's or the gold medal round, but I just, it was, I couldn't get with it. It was hard for me to get with breakdancing.
All right. Well, I'm gonna save my response because I'm bringing this up later. And to be honest with you, I only had 2 ice, and we spent a lot of time on basketball, so that's kind of a good thing that I only had 2 ice. So we'll move on to the fire list, Matt. Obviously, some of these events, Matt, have always been fire, and my number 3 on fire is going to be swimming, Matt. I mean, the swimming is just so cool to watch, Matt. And then I don't know if you paid attention to Rowdy, the color commentator. I mean, that dude just gets into it, Matt. Just throwing out stats left and right from like 20 years ago that nobody's ever heard of. I mean, this guy was just cool. It was cool to see Katie Ledecky just tear it up, man. I mean, she's an absolute beast in the water. And then you saw Fink break the world record in the one of the events that he swam in. The women's relay broke the world record for one of their events as well. So you just got to give a shout out to swimming. Who would have thought that, the U.S. would just almost, pun intended, mop up in swimming, but it was just cool to see the swimming events. I mean, dating back to Michael Phelps, who was actually pretty cool to watch. I don't know if you followed his journey through these Olympics.
Yeah.
He was cool to watch. He was always cheering for that 20-year-old kid from France
to break his record. Yeah. Yep.
So it was cool to watch kind of Michael Phelps's journey through it. Missy Franklin back in the day. Shout out to her. We went to the same high school, not at the same time, but and then now Katie Ledecky, who's tearing it up as well. So, and she says she's undecided right now about 2028 in LA. But shout out to swimming as a whole, man. All those events are cool to watch.
Mine's the same. Mine's the same. So I'll just piggyback off everything that you said. The Phelps thing is what caught me too. He's rooting for the kid to break his record, and that dude just blew the competition away. And Ledecky, you said that you mentioned her and just it's swimming. I feel like is always been good in American sports, and it was or American Olympics, and it was kind of slowing down there for a little bit. It's good to see we got athletes back, and swimming was huge for me for sure. That was my number 3 as well.
All right. My number 2, Matt, and I know you're going to agree with this. The track and field is just so cool, man. I mean, I'm watching events that I never shot put, Matt. I mean, the thing that really I never thought I would. The pole vaulting is just so cool to watch, man. I don't know if you caught that kid from Switzerland. Who I think he broke a record as well, and it was just so cool. But the different meters going around, 50 meter, 100 meter. Shout out to the U.S. women yesterday winning the gold in the 4x 100 meter. That was so cool to watch. And Sha'Carri Richardson, man, I mean, she got the baton in like
gone.
5th or 6th place and gone. Yeah.
Yep.
And then the little side eye she gave.
She's so badass. Yeah.
Yes, shout out to her. I know she won silver in her individual event in the 100 meter. And shout out to what country was that? The girl from, oh man, I forgot what country she's from. St. Lucia.
Oh,
They have a population of less than like Santa Fe, New Mexico, man.
Right.
And I think they took home 2 gold medals, which is outstanding. I know.
Isn't she only like 15 too or something? She's very young, isn't she? Or no? Or she's 17. She's 17.
I think she was.
Was she older?
Yeah, I think she was older. But I mean, shout out to all these athletes anyway. But the track and field or what they call it, Matt, athletics.
Exactly.
Because I mean, some of the things that these people are doing, the discus throw, the shot put and the discus throw, Matt, are some of the oldest. I mean, these are dating back to, ancient Greece type Olympic games.
This is what the Olympics were all about. Yeah. The track and field this was my number 1. So that we'll go right into it. Like the you mentioned the pole vault. There was even something that I mean, we're not going to talk about, but if you remember what happened with the pole vaulter that failed and he lost because of an appendage. If you remember that, if you don't, go look it up. You'll see exactly what I mean, what I'm talking about. Yesterday, the high jump. I was watching the high jump yesterday. It was between Kerr Ewan and Kermit McEwen and the guy from, I want to say it was from New Zealand, and they went through 11 tries and missed the jump, and they were having a jump off, and they could have selected to be gold medal winners like they did in 20, like there was a situation in 2020, I believe, where that happened too. But no, they kept going and going and going, and then finally the guy from New Zealand won, and he cleared it, and the American lost. You mentioned yesterday the 4x4. The men and women both won gold. The men, it was a little closer race. They beat Netherlands. That was a tremendous race. The women just blew the doors off. So yeah, track and field. I was watching the triple jump the other day. On Friday, the men screwed up on the 4x100 on a handoff, which brought into Noah. What's his name? Noah Lyles. He had COVID.
He wasn't invited to the relay.
He wasn't invited to the relay, so they had to shuffle everything up, and I mean, shout out to him too for competing with COVID. I guess it's track and field,
and he still won bronze.
And he still won bronze. Track and field, in my opinion, when anybody asks me who's the greatest athletes in the world, for me anyway, I always look at Jim Thorpe. I always look at track and field athletes, because I do think, like you put out, athletics, like track and field is the epitome of athletics. That it's you can do everything in track and field. So yeah, I think it was a huge dub for the Olympics and United States as well in track and field.
Yeah, I think just in track and field alone, I think the U.S. had like 18 medals in.
Yeah.
So
it was something crazy. Yeah,
it was one of the U.S.'s highest medal count in track and field, and you wouldn't say that a lot because just kind of those African countries always swept the competition in at least the running events. And,
right.
And now it seems like kind of like basketball, Matt, and the U.S. are part of the world is catching up to some of these track and field. Especially the running part of it.
So they have United States listed as 14 gold medals, 11 silver, 9 bronze, 34 total medals in track and field.
I was way off. So I was way off then. I gave them credit for only half of that.
Yeah, that is wild. And they were just track and field, or athletics is just dominated by United States this year. Kenya is in second place with 4, 2, 5, and 11. So
part of those African countries who always are good at running.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you watch like the marathon, Matt, where they just keep going round and round, and
that's
everyone's
wild.
Kind of setting a pace, and you're literally all of these, what is it, like 15 runners are pretty much grouped up in one lane.
Yeah.
And like the commentator was like, you're given your space, but there's not a lot of space.
No,
like you make one little false move and you're knocking somebody down. It seems like it's just crazy to me how they group up to start, man. I know they're pretty much saving themselves for the end, and then they just and then you just see the speed, man. I mean, it doesn't look like they're going fast, by the way. But they were like, "Oh yeah, that first mile was 3:12, 3 minutes." Are you kidding me?
It's crazy that the pace that they get to and they set. It's wild,
and it doesn't look like they're even going that fast
on
TV.
Right.
But then they kind of show the side angles, and you're like, "Oh man, these people are really moving."
And if you watch like some of, especially the relays, the high level, it was the third leg of the 4x4 yesterday, and I can't remember his name for the Americans, but he took that baton and he was gone. And when the way he was running with it, it didn't even look like he had a baton in his hand. and to do that that's technique, that's so much practice with running and just understanding how to run. And watching the Olympics and seeing being able to see that, it's wild, because when you don't even know how to run correctly and you're watching somebody that knows how to run correctly, it really it's eye-opening to really see that. But I was impressed. I found myself watching more of the track and field events than anything else.
Yeah, and again, we gave shout out to France, shout out to Peacock as well, Matt. I mean, I never thought I would have gave them credit for anything, but I mean, the way they have this laid out on the app, on whatever you watch, is just so cool. And you can go back and watch. If you miss something that was at like 4 a.m., Matt, you can go back and watch the replay.
Yep.
And it's like they cut out the commercials. And then I was always wondering, I'm like, let me get to my number one.
There you go.
My number one, Matt, is not an event at all. It is the combination of the medal presentations, the sportsmanship that is seen at the Olympics, Matt, is just there's nothing like it. I mean, the way these countries, at least I think, respect each other, Matt. I mean, you see after every single race on the track, Matt. I mean, whoever wins first goes and gives hugs to everyone that they beat. I don't know if you saw Katie Ledecky when she won gold, Matt. She brought up the other U.S. swimmer that won bronze. She brought her up to the gold podium, and the bronze medal, I forget her name, the bronze medal winner, Matt, could just not keep it together. I mean, and you know, when everyone take a picture after the national anthem is played, Matt, you know, everyone kind of groups up on the gold medal podium. Tear up every time, man. Every time. It doesn't even matter if it's the U.S. I mean, I'm sure people are sick of the freaking U.S. national anthem by now, because U.S. has so many gold medal wins. Not as much as China, though. China still has one more gold than the U.S.
One more, yeah. We got 39, I think, total, right?
China has 40, but
yeah,
U.S. has 122 medals.
Yes.
Still, and China's in second with 95.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it doesn't matter whose national anthem is playing, Matt. Just the look on these. I don't know if you saw Sha'Carri Richardson yesterday. Or you heard an example when the team relay won gold. I mean, just in tears, Matt. And even one of the girls who won bronze medal, Matt, in tears. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, they just won bronze." Matt, to even get to the Olympics is an accomplishment. You know how many qualifications and trials and all this stuff you have to do to even qualify to make the Olympics. If you win a bronze medal at the Olympics, Matt, you're winning at life. I don't care who you are.
I agree. You win a medal, you're winning. And like for a lot of these athletes, as soon as this is over, as soon as this is done, they're going to go home and maybe take a couple months off, but they're going to get right back into training because there's worlds, there's regionals, there's all the stuff that comes up that they're going to have to compete for to stay into shape and be ready for 2028. So a lot of these people, and you can see it, like you said, this is what they do. This is their life. They put in everything into this. And when they get out what they have been putting in, and by winning a medal, it's just overwhelmingly emotional. You know, Steph Curry was his first time winning a gold medal or being even in the Olympics.
And I was going to bring that up too. I had not realized how
isn't that crazy?
How has this dude never been invited to play for the U.S. team?
Yep.
He's arguably one of the best shooters ever. And you
crazy.
You saw it in the last two games, how he just shoots over fucking Wembayama, excuse my language. But I mean,
I get it.
It's crazy.
Yeah. No, I get it. And yeah, it's so, you know, I love it. I like you love the medal, the podium, and just, you know, hands over each other, especially the individual sports. And when you see that a lot too, I saw the rugby when rugby won last week? I think the rugby game was, or the medal was, but that was awesome too. Cause all those women, I follow the United States rugby team, and they're so cool. And to see how emotional they got, especially the way they won and the way they finished, it was awesome. So I agree. That's probably the best part of the Olympics is the podiums and watching everybody receive their medals.
Yeah. And the overall just sportsmanship between countries. It's just so cool to see.
Did you see Joker? And Joker does this after every game for the most part. Yeah. He went and shook everybody, every coach, his hand, made sure, you know, good game, congratulate him before he went and celebrated with his team. So
always.
There's things like that you see a lot. And I mean, it's just, it's when you're there, the Olympics, there's no, you're from this country, I'm from this country. We're supposed to be, it's everybody's there together.
And keep in mind too, like they may be competing in the Olympics, but these guys, like, the track and field, everybody, they see each other year round. Like you said, the worlds, the regionals, they all compete in the same stuff. So they know who each other are, but still it's just so cool. And then Matt, to sit in the crowd with a mix of, you turn to your right, there's a Canada fan, you look behind you, there's a South Sudan fan, you look in front of you, there's a Cuba fan, you look to the left, there's a Germany fan. It's just so cool to see the mix of races, ethnicities, of countries, of everything, Matt. So
and then the ways they cheer too, like
it is so
each
cool.
country cheers different for their, like, it's awesome to see that.
It was so cool yesterday during the basketball medal presentations, Matt, when France received their silver medal. The whole crowd just sung the national anthem because they know they're not. Obviously, the gold medal winners always get their anthem played, but France, the whole crowd, obviously, it's in France, so there's the France contingency is strong. But they literally, and Noah Eagle said it. They just impromptu sang the France national anthem because that's what you do. Even though they're not going to get theirs played over the loudspeaker, just the camaraderie. It is just so cool to see.
Yeah, it really is. That's in the closing ceremonies are going to be tonight. I don't want to, jinx nothing, but like I'm seeing scores pop up. The United States women aren't doing too well right now. They might. Could you think they might use a point guard that can create some shots? Right about now.
Speaking of, we talk about Joel Embiid taking up a roster spot, and I hate that Embiid's best game was against Serbia. By the way,
quote unquote bets. That dude scored 8 in a row, but he also gave up 8 in a row too. So let's it's a give or take, but I don't know. It's just so cool to see that overall sportsmanship is just cool to see. And by the way, speaking of taking up a roster spot, Matt, your girl who has done absolutely nothing in these Olympics, like you said, a very young point guard could be possibly making a difference also. I'm talking about your old girl, by the way. My old girl, DT.
Your old girl, DT.
She's hurt. I don't even know why she should have just
up a
backed
roster
out.
Spot. Told you.
Yeah,
taking
I
up
know.
A roster spot.
I know.
And I get it's probably a legacy pick, whatever. But still, like,
and like the whole narrative was that they didn't need Caitlin Clark to win a gold this year. Well, look where they're at right now.
I mean, at least, they made it to the gold medal, and to be honest with you, I want the women to win gold more than
I do too. But, yes, I'm right there too. I want the women to win more than I did the men, but there's a little kind of just between, especially us. Again, we got jokers over here on our sleeve, and then we got CC on this other sleeve that we defend. So that's just how it is,
Yeah, I mean, we can't help it.
Can't help it. We are who we are, just like they are who they are. Let's just
like Popeye. So, by the way, if you are wondering, France is a 2-point lead, 53-51. A pretty low scoring game, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. I want to move into the special category before we get it out of here. Events that you surprisingly enjoyed, like you were like, huh?
Oh, rowing. I think we were talking about that, weren't we? I think we were messaging each other about that. Rowing. I was just hooked into rowing, and I didn't realize how in sync you have to be successful in rowing, and just the strength and everything. That was something that caught my eye. I was watching I got caught watching, was it badminton? Badminton's fun to watch. Taekwondo is fun to watch. I always love watching wrestling. That's a really good Olympic sport to watch too. But I really got into rowing, and like I got into it so much. Now there's not a lot of I don't have a lot of money to be a rower, because you got to have, the biggest reason why you need to have money is because you have to have access to these places where you can do this, and you have to have access to the boats. You can't just go out and get a rowboat and go out on Chatfield and start rowing around, you know.
You can get a row machine.
Get a row machine at home.
I know it's a little different, but
yeah. But I was like, man, that looks like fun. That really looks like fun. I want to, that, you know, that'd be something that looks like I can, but yeah, rowing was probably one that I was like, wow, I enjoy this. What'd you have?
Rowing is good. I have a few. One you're obviously going to disagree with, but once I started watching the men's breaking, shout out to Phil Wizard from Canada, by the way, who won gold. And you'll be happy to know, Matt, that the breaking is not coming to LA in 2028.
Thank God.
It's kind of a one and done thing, but it was cool to see. I enjoyed watching the men's the old school hip hop that they played and danced to was pretty cool. And it was almost like a rap battle, Matt, without obviously rapping. They battle each other. They go 3 rounds, and it was funny. The dude from the US who took home bronze, he was literally, you know, being repetitive in your moves counts against you, and he was literally counting on his hand like, oh, there's the same move, there's the same move, there's the same move. So that was pretty funny to see as well. The other one, Matt, was canoeing. That was crazy.
Yeah,
that was crazy. I mean, I know they couldn't canoe in the river that's in France. I guess they spent over $1 billion trying to clean out that river, but they just couldn't do it.
It's disgusting.
So they built this structure. They get dropped basically from this platform down into a man-made river and just go through all these obstacles. They're basically in a canoe, or excuse me, they're basically in a kayak.
Yeah.
But it's still called canoeing something. I forgot the other word for it. But that was pretty cool to watch. I found myself watching like a whole day of canoeing. Another one, Matt, was shooting. Did you see this?
Yeah. The way that they shoot is really interesting.
By the way, I saw a funny meme, and the dude from Turkey, he was all over the place on social media. He's just standing there with his hand in his pocket, just casually shooting targets. And then you have these other like 16-year-old kids who are wearing like red eyesight and these fancy glasses to shoot this target, Matt. And then it said, there's all these memes like, if I get killed by this guy in knowing my luck, I'm going to get shot by this dude in World War III is pretty much the memes that were out there. And I think like a 16-year-old girl from Korea won gold in the women's shooting. Some of this stuff, man, I'll agree. Like if I known you could medal in like breakdancing, I would have started doing that a long time ago. Like if shooting, I mean, come on. I mean, put video games in the Olympics for God's sake.
I thought they were going to do something with esports. I thought they were messing with it, looking at it. Maybe they might.
By the way, did you see what's coming in 2020? Let me get to my last one.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not one that surprisingly enjoyed. I could have put this on a fire list, but just gymnastics all around is too.
Yeah, yes.
Just like swimming and track and field, Matt, the all-around
dominated
in gymnastics is just. I mean, obviously, you know, you have Simone Biles who just
the GOAT,
who just tears it up, Matt. Just tears it up. You know, the women's team, they won gold. By the way, Jordan Chiles, did you see her? She got her bronze medal stripped yesterday.
Yeah, I did notice that.
They did not allow that point change or whatever that was.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of crazy, but yeah, the women's overall, I love seeing Italy win a gold. They've never medaled in gymnastics, Matt. And I think they walked away with silver in the team competition, so that was pretty cool to see. By the way, did you see this 16-year-old Ukrainian girl in rhythm gymnastics? You know, they have the her routine.
I didn't see it. No.
Go back and watch it. Her whole routine is to Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah, yes, I heard about that. I haven't seen it, but I did hear about that.
I mean, just that. I mean, not only being 16, but just that routine, she should have won gold. She came in overall 9th, which, you know, is pretty sad. But 16 years old, Matt. And then, you know, being from Ukraine, a lot of these athletes from Ukraine had really trouble training because of what they're going through. So shout out to Ukraine. But just the overall gymnastics field, Matt. I mean, that you talk about track and field being one of the toughest, you know, athletic kind of things to go through. The girls that the things that these people go through. I don't know. The dude from the US too, who looks like Clark Kent, he was pretty funny to watch. He can do a Rubik's Cube in under like 12 seconds.
Yeah.
And he's like an all-around world player in what is that one video game where you race cars, or you like battle royale in cars?
Rocket League.
Rocket League. He's like a top 10 overall in the world at Rocket League, so he's a complete nerd. But it's cool to see him compete in the Olympics. He took home a bronze medal, but just the overall scope of gymnastics is always cool to watch too.
Oh yeah, for sure. My wife was a gymnast, and that's all she watches when the Olympics is gymnastics, and she's watching it, recording. Like you said, you can go back and watch it. She does that a lot. Yeah, and it's always been, gymnastics has always been one of those events that I always, had to tune in to watch, had to tune in to see where they finish and how they go. But yeah, gymnastics is just huge with the Olympics, and what a great year for U.S. gymnastics this year is also too. So Simone Biles, just a goat, a goat.
Crazy. And she did. It seemed like everyone kind of fumbled on the balance bar. Everyone kind of fell off. Even Simone Biles fell off. Suni Lee fell off. Or no, Suni did not fall off. She actually won a bronze medal.
She won. Yeah, I was just saying. I thought. Yeah.
But I mean, Simone Biles kind of lost her balance and fell off. This one girl, I think from China or Japan, she totally took like a
China. Yep.
So it was just overall bad luck for the balance beam that day. But
the uneven bars were a wreck too this year, bit too. I mean, they were tough too this season. It's what's funny or what's cool is a lot of these gymnastics, these Olympic gymnastics, they're going to go into college, because the shelf life for a gymnast is like 20.
Yeah, I mean that's why they keep saying Simone Biles is old.
Yeah,
because she's 27, competing with a bunch of 18-year-olds, pretty much,
and still dominating. Yeah, and you don't see that.
And like we mentioned, the sportsmanship and everything, the camaraderie. I mean, you see it in gymnastics too. All these girls are they're battling each other year round. But they're cool to see, like her and Rebecca Andrade from Brazil. Yeah, that was cool to see too.
Yeah. Their gymnastics is something that, again, just like track and field, that it they take a couple months off and then boom, they're right back into it. They're right back in it, going and training for the worlds, regionals, and all that stuff that they compete in.
All right, Matt. The last one I caught myself watching a lot was fencing. I don't know if you sat down to watch fencing, but it was so cool to see. I mean, it's so funny to watch the women's, at least, because every time they I don't know what you call it, got a point, I guess. Every time they fenced someone, like they would just scream, like after 1 point. And you're like, well, I guess it's hard to get with those 1 points because these girls are just screaming. But it was shout out again to the Ukrainian women's team, Matt. They took home gold in the women's team. I think they took home a medal, but it was cool to see again just what they're going through. They said over 400 athletes have died, Matt, in the whole Ukraine-Russia thing. So
that's crazy.
They had to. I don't want to say scrape at the bottom of the barrel, but they had to scrape to get athletes together, scrape to get these teams together, scrape to get training places together. So shout out to the women's fencing for taking home a medal. That was cool to see.
Yeah, fencing is something too that you look at and you're like, oh, that's kind of interesting how did you see Snoop Dogg trying to do it too?
Yeah, did you see him and Martha dressed up as equestrian riders?
Yes, that was hilarious too. Yeah, but yeah, fencing is something that was very, very. It's like there's respectful too. There's a lot of respect in that one, and like it's that goes back to like the, I challenge you to a duel kind of situation, So yeah, a lot of history with that too.
Yeah, so I thought fencing was
cool.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool to watch. I never thought I'd watch canoeing, fencing, breaking.
Well, I'm never gonna watch breaking again.
Well, you don't have to worry about it. But did you know? Do you know some of the new sports that are coming to LA in 2028? By the way,
no. Is skating coming back?
Skating was not on there.
No.
But I think these are the ones that are coming to LA that weren't in Paris, we'll say. Softball and baseball are going to be in LA in 2028. Flag football in 2028.
That's gonna be like a 3-on-3 situation too.
Lacrosse?
Where we're gonna. Ooh, that should be interesting.
Yeah, lacrosse, and I think there's one more. But those are some of the ones that are coming in 2028. So
That'll be fun.
by the
Lacrosse.
way, Matt, new bucket list life goal. I'm gonna try. I want to really try to go to the Olympics in LA.
Got 4
I
years
even-
to get ready for it. Huh?
I even applied to work it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean I couldn't do any worse than Noah Eagle.
No. Over the back, he's giving him the business out
What
there.
is this? What does this sign mean?
What is going on? Is this a FIBA thing? And then there's D Wade like slowly talking crap about a player because he's
All right, here, Matt. Here we go. Baseball, softball, flag football, lacrosse, cricket, and squash.
Squash will be interesting. I can't wait to watch squash. That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Wasn't there handball this year? I didn't watch any
Yeah,
of it. But
handball.
wasn't there handball
By the
this
way,
year?
I should have added that to the list. I wouldn't say enjoyed because I was so confused. But
Yeah,
I
I
was
get
watching. I mean, it's like a mix of soccer and hockey and basketball. I just didn't know. Oh, field hockey, I guess I'll add to the list too. But yeah, handball, I just don't get it. Like they bounce it, you can't pass a certain line. It's almost like the 3-point line in basketball. It was weird. Guys are just falling all over the place.
Squash is going to be fun because squash is similar to racquetball, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, you use your hands though. You don't use a racket.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't use a racket, and because squash is very you see that played a lot in prisons. You see squash played a lot in prisons.
Well, know where the recruits are coming from.
So I'm curious to see if they're going to unload the jails and the prison systems to see if we can get some high class or some really good squash players from there.
Hey, they already have inmate numbers. You don't.
They're not coming from country clubs. I'm just going to say that. Like if we want to win, we got to start getting into the prisons for squash.
You got to go to. I was going to say Alcatraz, but you got to go down to Pueblo and get those guys.
You got to go down to Canyon City and get some. Go down to San Quentin or whatever prisons they got out there. Yeah, you got to go.
What is that one? Guantanamo Bay.
Guantanamo.
Yeah. So the new sports that were added this year were surfing. I watched a little bit of. I don't understand.
I didn't see it. Yeah, I didn't get it.
And by the way, they weren't even near Paris. Did you know this?
Yeah, because I wouldn't.
Surfing was like off of it was like off the island of Haiti or something. It wasn't Haiti, but they were like close to Hawaii. Whatever small islands are close to Hawaii, it's not Hawaii, by the way. If you're gonna guess that, they were so far away from Europe. It was crazy. Skateboarding, breaking, climbing. I did not know there was rock climbing, Matt.
I did hear about rock climbing, and there was a buddy of mine was telling me about they watched some dude go up in like 30 seconds or some stuff like that. Like they were going up real fast. Like I heard and saw something about that.
Yeah. So and it also says that breaking will not come back in 2028. It says boxing has not yet been confirmed for LA.
Oh yeah, Jake Paul came out and said that he's going to compete in the Olympics for boxing because he's tired of seeing.
They said the main reason like breaking's not coming back to the Olympics is because of funding. A lot of these sports are like privately funded, I guess. So
okay. Well, that makes sense then.
I guess the World Commission of Dancing only had enough money for the Paris Olympics.
Darn.
I don't know. Phil Wizard was dope to see. I'll say that much. Shout out to Phil Wizard from Canada.
Yeah, shout out Wizard.
Who would have thought either like Canada versus France in the breakdancing finals?
I mean, it could, if he was from like what's a French Canadian Providence up there?
Where's Jamal Murray from? Kirchnick? Is that what it? Kirch?
I don't know where he's. Not Halifax isn't.
Those dancers from Montreal though, they're crazy. Watch out for them.
Oh yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna look up, but the Yeah, squash will be interesting. I think lacrosse will be pretty fun.
Lacrosse will be interesting too. Yeah, I think we'll dominate lacrosse.
I don't know. Was baseball ever in a Summer Olympic, or they don't do it because they do the World Baseball Classic?
Didn't they do it once? One time? Was it 20? No, because that was. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean Let's see. I'm looking at it. It became an official sport in '92 in the Summer Olympics in Barcelona, and they haven't. So they haven't played baseball in the Olympics since 2008 in Beijing. So
That's right.
It's been 16 years. It'll be 20 years when they bring it back. I don't know. I mean, you obviously got basketball. They're going to add flag football, but hockey's in the Olympics, Winter Olympics, so you have hockey in there as well. I mean, I would have thought baseball would be a Summer Olympic game too. But that's what I thought. Maybe they don't do it because they do the World Baseball Classic every 4 years, right? Or every 2
That's
years.
what I thought. That's what I thought was like taking that out was like that was.
Well, they were like
place.
we're not ever invited to the Olympics, so we'll start our own.
Started their own thing,
yeah.
And then that's when what's his name from the Mets got hurt, and just kind of went downhill from there for the World Baseball Classic.
So that's what's coming to the Summer Olympics in 2028, Matt. I am really going to try to go. By the way, this would be flag football and squash's debut in the Olympics.
Nice.
Cricket, I do want to learn how that game is played, Matt. So I might watch a couple of those matches, or I think they call that on the pitch as well, right?
On the pitch, I believe, yeah. And it's got, real quick, if I can remember right, it's got like 3 sticks behind it, and when you pitch or you throw it up there, you're trying to knock those 3 sticks down to get before they hit it. And there's some other things that go into it too, but it's an interesting sport and how they play it, but it's very, very, very popular.
By the way, Matt, if you're wondering what sports and or events were not in the Olympics in a long time, chariot racing. So that has
I wonder why. I bet Joker could be good at that.
That has not been part of the Olympics since 1890. So that was in Greece when the Olympics first started. Hot air ballooning is no longer an Olympic sport. That was
bring that back.
That was retired in 1900. By the way, the last time there was hot air ballooning, Paris, France, in 1900. And you could kind of tell Paris is known for the hot air balloon. Did you see, by the way, the hot air balloon that was carrying the torch around all night? That was kind of cool.
I didn't see it, but the United States women just won gold. 67-66 against France.
Well, I'm sure they were like 20-point favorites, right?
At least. But they won either way, and congratulations on their like 17th straight gold medal or something crazy like that.
No, seriously, is it ninth straight? Right?
It's something crazy.
And
yeah,
they've won like 58 straight games.
They've never lost it. Yeah, it's wild.
All right, yeah. Another sport and or event that was retired, Matt, swimming obstacle race. That would be kind of cool to see. That has not been an event since 1900 in Paris, France. Basque pelota. I don't know what this is. It's a sport played on a court with a ball and a racket. Confusing. It was a medal sport in 1900, again in Paris, France. Spain won gold. It's still a popular sport in France and Spain.
Huh.
By the way, the last time cricket was in the Olympics, Matt, same year, 1900 in Paris, France. So they took 124 years off, but they're coming back.
They're bringing it back.
Distant plunging, 1904 was the last time that was a sport. It involved diving into the water and then going as far as possible underwater without moving any body parts.
Oh my gosh.
The winner was whoever coasted the longest distance in 60 seconds, or they floated to the surface, whichever came first. But that hasn't been in the Olympics since 1904 in St. Louis. All right, Matt. Also coming back
wild.
after 120 years, Matt, lacrosse has not been in the Olympics since 1904, since it was in London, those Olympics. How about this, Matt? They need to bring this back. This has not been in the Olympics since 1920. Tug of war. Yeah, let's bring that back.
Dude, tug of war.
Come on. How is this not in the Olympics? If breaking's in the Olympics, how
Oh,
is
that
tug
would
of
be
war?
so
Tug of war takes a lot of
cool.
strategy and a lot of strength, I will say.
It does, because you got to put the anchor, you got to put the guys up in front, you got to put the people in the middle, and they got to be able.
They need to bring this back.
They do. That would be, man.
So that has not been in the Olympics since 1920 when it was in Belgium. And this is kind of surprising, Matt, with all the equestrian kind of events that they have. Polo has not been in the Olympics since 1936 when it was held in Germany. And that was kind of the bad time in Germany. But
Yeah. You think if they brought back chariot racing, do you think Nikola
polo.
Jokic or
I mean,
polo?
I think he would be pretty good at polo. He's got the long arms. He could hit that
He does.
ball, or whatever
But
that is.
I would that chariot race, because that's kind of his thing. That's like his horse. Like, what if he came and he was like, oh no, I'm going to do the chariot racing this time? Because
Yeah, they said a lot of people died because the carts ran into each other. That's why. That's why it hasn't been a sport since the very first Olympics.
I mean, we've all seen the Gladiator, and we've all seen.
To be honest, I'm not surprised he's not like part of the equestrian. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
A giant dude just riding a horse.
Cool.
All right, Matt, since 1948, art competitions.
Interesting.
That has not been in the Olympics since 1948 in London. The competitions were painting and sculptures.
It
says the IOC decided that the participants were considered to be professionals, which, that's obviously changed.
You can't be a professional. You have to be an amateur, right?
Yeah. All right, Matt. 1984, solo synchronized swimming. There's team synchronized swimming in the Olympics now.
I don't even want to touch solo. I don't even want to touch what those people are doing.
Yeah, so
and
that
how
has
they're
not,
doing it. No
that
thanks.
has not been in the Olympics since LA in '84.
No thanks.
And that's about it, Matt. So those are the retired Olympics that have not made its return. So
Good.
lacrosse is coming back, so that's cool to see.
Yep.
Tug of war should be in the Olympics. I think that would be awesome to see.
It would be.
I mean, you only need a day, right? You probably only need one day to knock out tug of war.
I mean, it wouldn't take that much to dial it in.
Yeah, you could go through a whole day of tug of war. So those are the sports that have been retired and haven't been back. But again, lacrosse is coming back. I'm really shocked that polo is not an Olympic sport, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that is something.
And not only that, but for so long ago, 1940s something.
Did horses die in that situation too?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't think it would
chariot
get too
racing,
crazy.
they said horses and people died. So yeah, so those are the sports that have not made it back. But lacrosse is coming back in 4 years. I think lacrosse will be a cool event to watch. Squash, like we mentioned, is coming back. I want to watch cricket. I want to understand that game, so I will be watching a couple of those matches on the pitch.
On the pitch, Mike.
All right, Matt. Before we get out of here, we're having closing ceremonies tonight.
Yep.
Any closing statements on the Olympics before we get out of here?
I enjoyed it. I was
Sorry, I will preface this by saying I know we were almost, because we were like Olympics at the beginning, but man, I have literally watched nothing else besides the Olympics.
I have too. I really got into the track and field events. I was really watching those, as much volleyball as I can catch. And then basketball, I was watching basketball, even though we it was tough. But yeah, I would say for me, I would give 4 out of 5 for the Olympics this year. 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Maybe 4.5. I don't know. Between there, maybe 4.25.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to the women's soccer team for bringing back gold.
Oh yeah, that's right. On the pitch.
On the pitch as well. 2 shutouts leading to a gold medal. That was cool to see. The game winner by Trinity. That was pretty cool to see against China. And then did you see the save yesterday or was it Friday? By the way, I forget her name, but the goalie for the U.S. just like threw up a hand, and it was just so cool to see. You know what I should have put on the ice list, Matt? Well, I guess it has to do with basketball, but these behind the back passes by LeBron that were somehow just outrageous and never been done before. I'm gonna throw that in there as well, because he had like a little bounce pass to Stephen Curry, and Steph made a three. They're like, these behind the back passes, but of course, Dwayne Wade, these behind the back pass. How is he doing this at 40? I'm like, dude, who cares how fucking old he is? Like, dude, I don't care.
Joker
makes those passes in his sleep.
See,
5 times a game, by the way.
They push it so much with that dude and everything around. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough to watch Olympic basketball this year.
Well, as of right now, the U.S. are now tied with 40 golds with China.
And they are 2-0 in basketball with gold.
Yeah. It's the first time in history, by the way, in the Olympics that men's and women's played the same countries.
That is crazy. That is crazy. And then that shows for how good France is.
Yeah. By the way, I couldn't tell you one person on the women's France team. I'm sorry, but the men's French team will be back.
They will be back. Team. They'll be good. And
same with Serbia.
The dancing bear. The dancing bear is going to get signed by somebody, and he's going to make some money, and he might even contribute in the NBA. We'll see.
Was he the same guy that they were talking about? Like, he's not going to seek out NBA teams, but if NBA teams seek him out, he'll answer the phone. I think that's the same guy that they were talking about.
It could be, but he was a monster. He's a monster.
Yeah, he was the same guy who teabagged LeBron, right?
Yep.
On that dunk. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you see LeBron too right away. He stood there try to take a charge, but he realized right away that no.
Oh yeah, he did not. He did not even complain. Like, he did not complain.
Yeah,
which was surprising.
And he got up and was like, "All right, I just got it.
Like back in the day playing Halo.
I just got it."
But yeah, I was surprised he did not complain. Meanwhile, you have these other dudes like holding the arms of guys, and they get called for a foul, and they're still complaining.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's not the NBA, guys. It's not the NBA where you can look at somebody the wrong way and it's a foul.
The NBA.
By the way, the referees it's kind of a cool collection. They announced the referees, and they're all from different countries.
Yeah, that's cool. FIBA been reffing FIBA for 20-some years, most of them. Yeah.
That was cool. But yeah, so it was besides all the outside stupid drama stuff that obviously caused a stir, which I don't care about, just the competition and like I said, the camaraderie, the sportsmanship, the medal presentations have all been awesome. And I was always like after somebody wins an event, I was like, where's the medal presentation? Sometimes they wait till the next day, when because sometimes the men and women's competitions are on different days, so they wait till kind of everything's wrapped up to do the medal presentations. But if you watch the replays on Peacock, so if you watch, say, the replay of the men's basketball final against France, right after that they'll just go right to the medal presentations of all 3 teams. So that's pretty cool how they do that. So I was like, why isn't the medal presentations at all being shown after these events? But they do it on the replays. And sometimes you can catch it live, but they are on the replays if you're wondering.
Right. Yeah, that worked out nice.
Cool. Yeah. And again, if you watch the replays, again, no commercials. You don't have to. And Peacock did a good job. Watching basketball on in the Olympics is pretty cool, man. They literally do like one commercial in between quarters, and then they're right back at it.
Yeah.
So they go through those breaks and timeouts pretty quick. And most of the timeouts, they just stayed there. They didn't even go to a break or anything like that. So that was cool.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, so that's going to do it for us here on the Wheelhouse Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyle. Make sure to go and like all of our social medias and go to our home base as well, e5280sports.com. Got some Olympic content going up there pretty soon. Check out the articles. Go to the Audio Vault, Video Vault. All of these past podcasts will be posted. Go to Spotify, subscribe there, so you can get it when they first drop. Subscribe to YouTube as well. But that is going to do it for us here on this Sunday morning. For Matt Mascarenas, I am Michael Spill, and we will talk to you next week.